Tonight on Arizona Horizon, Good Morning America anchor Robin Roberts is the winner of the 2014 Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. Hear what Robin Roberts had to say about her life and career next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Each year, ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication honors a leading journalist with the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. This year's recipient was Robin Roberts of ABC's Good Morning America. Robin Roberts has worked in journalism for 28 years. She's worked in radio and television, from sports to international news. She's also a breast cancer survivor, and her public battle with the disease helped increase breast cancer awareness. Robin Roberts talked with two student journalists about her career path and optimistic outlook on life during the Cronkite Award luncheon in downtown Phoenix.
You have had such a wildly successful career in broadcast journalism for more than 30 years now, and we just wanted to know, as we're college students, we all kind of have questions, and did you always see yourself in this kind of career? Is that something you ever questioned?
I knew that I wanted to be, in the very beginning, I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be a professional athlete, and that little thing called ability that you have to have, I didn't quite have that. And it was Sister Sally who really encouraged me, because I had an interest in what she was doing in journalism, but I was passionate about sports, and so she was the one that initially encouraged me to combine the two. I really felt that I was so grateful that early on in becoming a sports journalist that my interest became sports and my passion became journalism. And I never, in a gazillion years, I'm like you when I was watching that going, I could not have thought of that. All I wanted to do was to be a sports journalist at first, and I'm just so grateful that I had so many people who were giving me opportunities and wanting to do more and more. And I just feel like I'm just rounding first base in all that I hope to accomplish.
Well, I know you started in sports, like we talked about, ESPN, all that great stuff. So then, how was the transition different? How was sports going into news, and how was that transition for you?
We are all very comfortable in our comfort zone, and it's very difficult to venture out of that. And in the local markets where I worked, the news director would always try and get me to come over to the side because I was well received by the audience, and so they wanted me to have more airtime and to do more important stories, it seemed, than that people thought was sports. But I never used it as a stepping stone. But sometimes we get in the habit of saying no. Because I was like, when they would say, do you want to go into news? I'm like, no, that's a four-letter word. No, it's because I'm a girl. You don't think I can be in sports. And then I realized I was saying no out of habit, and I didn't feel that way. And I was very, very grateful that ABC and other places were very interested. And there's a wonderful world about sports and those sports journalists. And it's the perfect training ground, though I didn't treat it like that, because it's completely unscripted. You could not script the ending of that ASU USC game, could you? Come on now. Am I right, Ray? Am I right? That's right, Ray. No. So it's wonderful. So it was. You have to think on your feet and all those things. And so I was just so grateful, and I realized that I was limiting myself by just staying in sports. And I still cover sports, but I'm just so grateful for now the bigger platform that I have.
And then, so when it comes to your whole news and sports, like what is similar about it that let you transition so easily?
Journalism is journalism. A sports story is a sports story, or a news story. It doesn't matter what it is. The subject matter may be different, but how you approach it as young journalists, the background that you do, the research that you do, how you approach a story is absolutely the same. And so when I realized that, and that journalism is just that, it put me at ease a little bit to realize that it is all the same.
And you talked about your athletics a little bit beforehand, how you wanted to be.
As I.
Yes. So,
Little hoops. I got a little eligibility left, if you want to play one more year of college hoops.
Right. Well, the competitive edge is still there for you. And so, we wanted to be number one, you fought for that number one spot, and you got it. Where does that competitive spirit come from?
Ooh, wow. My dad was a Tuskegee Airman. He was the first Black Flying Air Corps in the military. My mother was the first in her family to go to college. They met at Howard. and Howard University. And I just really, we weren't competitive. I mean, people feel because, you know, Sally Ann and I are in the same line of work, and she's quick to remind me that she has a #1 radio, television morning show in New Orleans. So, you know, she's very quick to point out that they're #1 in New Orleans, you know. I'll give you New Orleans, just give us everything else, Sally Ann. We're good, we're good. But people thought that we are competitive, and it's not that. It really comes to playing sports. I mean, I think for generations, I'm a proud product of Title IX. I am very grateful for Title IX, and yes, provided me with an athletic scholarship, paid for my education, the opportunity to, as I said to you all yesterday when I was talking with you, all I want is the same opportunity to succeed or fail as anyone else. And when you play sports, it really instills that in you. And I think that competitiveness comes from playing sports. Yeah.
Sure. Now, you've covered such amazing moments in our nation's history, from Hurricane Katrina to, you know, President Barack Obama making his historic statement on gay marriage. And so out of all of these moments that you have under your belt, is there any particular story that you felt was the most impactful for both you and your viewers?
Oh, Annalise. I would have to say, the two that you mentioned in particular, the morning after Katrina, or actually the night of Katrina is when I finally made it there. My sister's station, they had evacuated to Baton Rouge from New Orleans, and we had lost contact with our mother and sister and nieces that were there on the Gulf Coast. And so when I arrived there that night, and this was just a short time after I had been named the third co-anchor with Charlie Gibson and Diane Sawyer, and there was a part of me that was kind of like, golly, how'd I get here? Why am I here with, you know, Charlie and Diane? And did I do the right thing? And take me back, John, take me back to ESPN. I promise you, to, you know, dance with the one that brung you. But so I was having these little doubts that you all have at different points of your career. And so it was the night of after Katrina. I made it down to Lafayette, Louisiana, drove all night with the team to get to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Didn't know anything about my family, was still trying to find them. And so the producers that I was with, I said for them to set up for a live shot, and I would try and get back if I could, but I was going to find my mama. And so a police officer was very nice to take me to the neighborhood. It was a lot of destruction, but the house was standing, and the big police officer, and he had that big old light, and he was shining it, and I knocked on the door, and Dorothy, our sister Dorothy, answered the door, and that big light shining in her, and she's going like, no TV, no TV. Oh. I'm like, I'm gonna bring a TV camera here, you know, no, it's a, but I was more concerned because the police officer had knocked on the door, and my nieces recognized the police officer's knock. And we're like, how do you know the police officer's knock on the door? Oh, you know what that sounds like. So, you know, Mama's in the back of the house, and she's like, Robin, my sweet mama, and I ran back there, and she said, I knew you'd find me. And she said, I swear, that's how she was. And she said, go and tell our story. I made sure they were okay. She said, go, you need to let the world know what has happened here. I made it back, and Tom will tell you, with seconds to spare to go on the air live. And we lost the satellite at the last second, and it came back, and so I'm there, and you know, and I'm giving just the facts of what happened, you know, of what I had seen, the destruction, and this, that, and the other. And I was very proud of myself because I was holding it together. And then Charlie Gibson and my IFB, my little earpiece, said, Robin, when you left here, you didn't know about your family. Were you able to find them? Remember how Mama said there's no beautiful cry. It's always an ugly cry. And I'm like, as you saw a little bit of the fine tape, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get fired. Oh, I just cried on national. There's no crying in national TV. And just the opposite happened. People really gravitated to the fact that I was being so authentic at the moment. So the fact that people saw that they donated, that they adopted my hometown, that was a very significant story for not only myself, but for our viewers, and I really feel it was the cornerstone and the turning point in my career.
Yeah, so we kind of, you know, you talked about how much the viewers are important to you, and how the viewers they appreciate you and your message and stuff like that. Do you often feel, though, when you went through that medical journey, that you had to put on a brave face sometimes, and maybe you were just tired or sick?
That's a fair question. I mean, I never people can see through you if you're, if you're insincere. And did I share everything? No. But did I share what I felt would be helpful for someone? And I wish, and I hope before I leave, I was sitting there and people were very nice to try and allow me to eat my lunch. And I got a sweet note from somebody who is 1 year from their transplant, their 1-year birthday. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy for you. I'm just so incredibly happy for you, and I'm happy that I was able to put a face to what we are going through, what we went through together, and that if it brought you comfort and your family and your friends, and to know what the journey is like. So that is the reason why we shared as much as we did. And you showed a bit of it in the tape, and I didn't realize this when we did the special when I came back. When I was just in immense tears and I was holding my face. I don't even remember that moment, and there was a part that said I didn't want to show that in the special, but we did, and I heard from more people because they wanted to see that. They don't want to just see the smile. They want to know that there were difficult times, but yet the vast majority of the time I was able to just bear through it, smile, and let people know that this too shall pass. And I feel that I am a living, breathing, wonderful example of this too shall pass, whatever anybody is going through. Yeah.
And now, in Everybody's Got Something, and this also goes along with the, being a living example for others. So in your book, Everybody's Got Something, you do mention that, sometimes there's those mornings that we all have where we don't want to get out of bed. But in your position, with the job you have, that's not a possibility, because you are the motivation for so many people. And you mention in your book that you just want people to wake up on a positive note. Mm-hmm. And so, that's such a powerful statement, such a powerful position. So where do you find the inspiration to do so?
My family, we grew up with the 3 Ds. People talk about the 3 Rs, reading, writing, arithmetic. Sally Ann would tell you it was the 3 Ds: determination, drive, and the Lord. So that is really, my faith has really, and there's a funny thing, and I know when I look at you two, and I'm just, this is so great. I mean, you're, to be on the cusp of this wonderful careers that you're about to launch, and the great start that you've gotten here at the Cronkite School. But there is just a very slight difference between fear and faith. They both are the unseen, the unknown. We're fearful of things that may never happen. And faith is the unseen. So why not have faith instead of fear? Both are unknown and unseen. And I'm just so grateful that I've been taught to have faith and to know that when fear knocks, to let faith answer the door.
Now, also in your book, you also had, like in the first chapter, I remember.
My book, Everybody's Got Something, at bookstores right now.
In your book, you ask yourself, all these different questions like, will this disease kill me? How will I tell my mother? And how you are the interviewer all the time. You always ask people the tough questions. How was it to turn such a tough question back on yourself?
Well, that's why I began the book with talking about there are some years that ask questions, and there are some years that we get the answer to those questions. And 2012 was a year that I asked more questions than I answered. Will I survive? Will my mother survive? There was just so much uncertainty. And I think that the reason that I started that is that life is a journey. It just is. There's no 2 ways about it. And I'm so grateful that there are peaks and valleys, and that when I say this too shall pass, it means the good and the bad. The good will pass and the bad will pass. And I'm just glad that I have that as a cornerstone for how I live my life.
And now you say, your relationship with your viewers is so important and powerful, I think. And as you became more open with your audience, sharing your personal journey, Do you feel like it changed the way that you report stories and the way you tell stories?
No, I think because I did that is the way I developed a relationship. So I didn't really have to change anything. I was very grateful that for, again, that piece. And can I get a copy of that piece? And anytime I'm feeling blue, I'm just going to run the piece that you all, I mean, just
I'm sure you get a copy.
Tom, when I want a day off, I'll just show you the piece. Go, look what all I've accomplished. I get a day off. But when someone said, I have huggability, there's no, and there were so many people where it was great, we're taking pictures, and some people were like, I just want to hug. So there is a connection, and if you had met our mother, you would understand where that comes from. And I'm very grateful for that, because there's an intimacy to morning television. I mean, you're getting up, you're starting your day. There's just this connection. I mean, audiences really feel like you are part of the family.
Now, you also talk about your mom a lot in the book and how important she was to you and family in general. And I know that you always use the make your mess your message as what she would always say, but your mom had a lot of great quotes that you were talking about yesterday.
When you strut, you stumble.
That was
That's
my
another
favorite
one. When you strut, you stumble.
And
Yeah.
so when you think of that all the time, make your mess your message, after you've been through so much, after you've accomplished so much, what's your message at this point in your life right now? What would you think your message is today to viewers?
My message today, and it's really to be here at the Cronkite School and to look at the students and to let you know that this is a wonderful, tremendous, scary, all these things rolled into one profession. And that it's an honor. It's an honor for people. Of all the recognition, and this is just so phenomenal, when I was also recognized as the most trusted woman on the most trusted news person, not woman, the most trusted news person by Reader's Digest. And I realized probably the reason I did that, because I trust the viewer. I trust that I'm just going to give you the information, and I trust that you're going to make your own decision. You don't need me to color it any kind of way. And I'm just really very grateful that I was taught to trust people, to trust myself, and to trust others.
And you have the Walter Cronkite Award. You know,
Yes.
Cronkite School.
Can't have
lovely.
it. Yes, it's right here.
So we know Walter Cronkite, he was known as the most trusted man in America, just like you
Yes.
talked about.
Right.
You guys watched it and all that great stuff. So there is kind of a distrust kind of sometimes with the media and the viewers. How do you overcome that in this day and age?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I know that there's a reason why that some people who watched what is on television, there has been a level of distrust, and it's something that we have to earn and win back. I can only speak for us at Good Morning America, and I'm very grateful that the people have given us the benefit of the doubt, and that's one of my rules to live by. You've got to give people the benefit of the doubt and not always think bad of them. So I think that there is a reason why there is that mistrust, and I think that we're working really hard to win that trust back as a profession.
Absolutely.
And now finally here, so you've beaten cancer, you've gotten through MDS, and you have the #1 morning show, and today you received the Walter Cronkite Award, Excellence in Journalism. So we just want to know, what's the next step for your career? What can we expect
That's
from
not
you next?
enough. I mean, come on, all that. I'm tired.
Not done yet.
Someone else do something. I'm done. No. Oh gosh. I'm very grateful that with the support of ABC, I've started a new production company, Rock and Robin Productions. And look, I watch Housewives too. I watch the reality shows. Just like I'm not going to try and say like I'm, hold my. But I feel that the pendulum is beginning to swing back. I want to provide programming, much of it that will be seen on ABC, that's uplifting, that's informative, that's entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to building the production company and providing programming like that. You guys need a job? You all want a job?
Yeah, that's fine.
Got your resume? Got your resume right there. Yeah.
Well, we want to say congratulations to you. It is, again, it's such an honor to be here. Everyone is so excited to have you.
Thank you. I want to share
one.
one final story. First of all, very good. A little too good,
okay.
but very good. All right. This honor means so much, and it's poetic in some ways. I shared it this morning in talking at ABC 15. When I was in the hospital, and one of those scenes that you saw that I was in a really bad state, because of the medication that I was taking, I was hallucinating a great deal. This is a true story. I was hallucinating, and I made Amber, my girlfriend, made all my family leave the room. I wanted to be alone. I didn't want anybody staying with me that night. The next day, my family and friends came in, and there's friends that are here, Scarlett and Linda, who were there in that hospital room with me, who are from Phoenix, and they're dear friends, and they would make the trek in to see me. And the nurse came in laughing, and we asked, well, what's so funny? And they said, well, you missed it. Said Robin was hallucinating last night, and she was at the foot of her bed when the nurse came in, and she said that you were interviewing someone. And I said, really? And a true story. And I said, who was I interviewing? Walter Cronkite. So, true story. So, when I received word that I was receiving this honor, I felt that it has all come full circle. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Robin Roberts is the 31st journalist to receive the Cronkite Award. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
If you have comments about Arizona Horizon, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Your comments may be used on a future edition of Arizona Horizon. Thank you. Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.